Welcome. This is a product demonstration for Civic Zone. We've created a new zoning bylaw digital web application. We're really excited to help out municipalities with having easier to use and more accessible information more quickly, and just making things more convenient, more streamlined, and modernized, updated version of zoning bylaw to bring us into the digital era, which, as probably many people who work in municipal government know, is sorely needed in Canada. There's a number of companies who already do this in the States, but we're one of the few companies in Canada that's offering this service, and we're just really excited to show you a demonstration of it today. So this is our web application. It's being hosted on a remote server, so this would be similar to the type of product that you would have if you did sign up for a digital zoning bylaw. So as you can see here at the top, there's a search. We're currently working on implementing an AI search feature to ask questions that a citizen might ask, or a developer, or planning manager, and just get the information directly from the zoning bylaw. A lot of people who use AI tools might know that there can be problems with things being incorrect, or the AI forgets things. So the benefit of having something that's simple like a zoning bylaw for a search engine is that everything will be in the context window. So it will be, because of this simplicity, it will be very difficult for anything to be incorrect, because it will all be in the context window, which is the memory of the search engine. So that's one feature that we'll have in the application. We're still working on the development of it. We do have some basic functionality, but it's currently turned off. And then we have this sidebar here, so you can go through the various sections. Currently, we just did two test sections, B.1 and B.2. One of our clients is working with the municipal district of Bighorn, and these were the most complicated sections of their zoning bylaw, so we thought that would be a good demonstration. So you can just click here, and there's drop downs that show the subsections, and then you can click even further. You may notice that some of these don't have specific labels, but that's actually what is currently in the bylaw. There is no subsection headings, but those could be added if a client wanted them. Just depends on the preference. As you can see, it is very aesthetically pleasing. We have nice looking tables. We have cascading style sheets so that you can update these styles very easily. We know that from our experience working with a number of different clients on zoning bylaw projects, that lawyers and sometimes planning managers don't like tables, so we can also replace these with lists. And then we have some features here. We have, if you click on these definitions, they're indexed, and then you can see them pop up on the right-hand sidebar here. And then you also see the definitions are highlighted within the definitions, so you can click on those as well. And that allows you to quickly get information if you don't understand a term, or you just want clarification on a term. So that's one of the main features that we have. As you can see, it's very aesthetically pleasing, and we have things like different types of tables. We can put in images as well. A lot of people will want zoning bylaw maps too, so that's something that we can have added. And yeah, so that's pretty much how our web application works. And I'll just show you a few examples of the current sort of state of affairs of zoning bylaws online. A lot of municipalities are doing really great things. They're coming up with solutions. Major cities like Banff, Edmonton, Calgary currently have products like this already in use. We know that also municipalities would like to have amendments showing up in these situations, or if something's been amended. So we're also a feature we are going to add that will be available for our first client for this product will be a clickable link on the sidebar, right sort of between here and the definitions, or somewhere convenient where you can see that if there has been a recent amendment and where to go find that or more information about amendments. So that will be one feature that will be added for hopefully the first version of this product, depending on the demand and how quickly it gets released. So let's go look at a couple of municipalities. I've chosen one is the city of Kamloops, and I was speaking with an environmental biologist who was talking about using zoning bylaw in Kamloops yesterday. So I thought that was a good example. And then the other, I chose my hometown of Grimsby. I thought that would be a good example because it's sort of random in the sense that it's just a randomly selected municipality in Canada, so you can see what they're doing. And also, I just wanted to highlight some things for the town of Okotoks as well, which is where Blue Rock Planning, one of the main partners for this project, is located. So first, let's just go look at, this is a land use map for Okotoks, where I just aforementioned Blue Rock Planning. So we can see different zones here, TN, I'll zoom in a little maybe here, TN, ROS, NC. So those are unusual zoning names. Often I see things like R1, C1, industrial. So obviously Okotoks is a very progressive town, so maybe they're using some sort of modern progressive naming conventions. So if I click here in TN, you can see that this is a very helpful tool. It shows you a lot of information about it. One thing we notice here is the land use code, which would also be the zone. The benefit from having an application like our application here is what you could do is replace this TN with a hyperlink, and then you could click directly on it, and then that would take you to the zoning bylaw website, to the section. Say the section was Harvey Heights parcel orientation, for example. It would pop you up right here, and then you would be able to immediately find out information about the TN zone, and you would also be able to, in the search bar here, something like, what is the, say if you want to open a restaurant, are restaurants allowed in the TN zone? And then you could search and find the answer. So really good utility for implementation with existing ARC map systems, which I know many municipalities are currently using. So we're really excited about that. Let me move on to the next example. My friend was saying he was having some challenges with the city of Kamloops, which actually has a very sophisticated setup, which I think is quite good. But he was saying that it was confusing for him. There was so many different zoning things. There was a whole bunch of documents. So what I see here is we have the consolidated zoning bylaw, so that would be the main document. And then it looks like what they've done is pulled out sections of the zoning bylaw, if I'm correct, and made them into separate documents as well. So very well organized. So if I click on this one, this is very like a very sophisticated PDF that's looks beautiful, that was created by Kamloops. So we can go here and we can see it has similar functionality to our web application. You won't likely be able to do sophisticated searches. So let's say a biologist might be looking for what are the environmental protected areas, for example. That's not gonna. So maybe we'll look up, let's say DPA. Okay, so DPA, 7 matches. Or let's look up environment. So environmental, there's 4 matches. Management, here we go, permitted parking space reductions. So as you see, it is a beautiful document. It's very well laid out. More sophisticated than many zoning bylaws are today. So I applaud Kamloops for doing a great job. But as you can see, it is still quite difficult to search through to find what you're needing, and it won't be as sophisticated as using a machine learning search that we will implement in our digital zoning bylaws. So that's just an example. And I think part of it too is like because a biologist is coming here, they see so many documents. Someone like myself, I understand consolidated zoning bylaw. Okay, that's everything put together in one document. It says full document. Obviously, my friend was a bit confused when he came here and he saw all these documents and was overwhelmed. So that's another thing too, is that you wouldn't need the separation of documents because you can just easily open and close what you need in the zoning bylaw to find it, livestock regulations, for example. So much more convenient, much more searchable, easily available. You know, like if I want, I just come directly to this site here, right? So like, but if I want the Kamloops, I have to, let's say, Google Kamloops zoning bylaw. Nothing wrong with what Kamloops has done. They've done a great job. Then I go zoning and property information, and then I go zoning bylaw, and then same website. So Kamloops does have a great setup. It's not too difficult to find, but as you can see, there are some advantages to going to a more modern web application approach. And finally, let me show the town of Grimsby. So I've already searched up their zoning bylaw. I've already found their public interactive map. So what I was thinking was maybe just like something like, say, on the street I grew up, which is Kerman Avenue, I want to find out, can I put a fence on my front lawn? So the first thing I did when I was testing this out, before I made this video, and I was having a heck of a time. They have a good introduction section here, which is the layperson's guide. So this explains how to read and use this zoning bylaw. But this would be unnecessary in our web application because essentially you can just, in plain English, in the search bar, type what your needs are. So that's something that wouldn't be necessary potentially in a future version of the Grimsby zoning bylaw if they became our client, because clients could just search in plain English what they needed. So what I was looking for is, like, if I wanted to put a fence up in my front yard on Kerman Avenue, the street I grew up on. So I went to the back of the document because I know often that's where zoning maps are. And then I found all these schedules. So just a lot of different maps. What are these schedules? I'm just an average citizen. I'm not sure. This doesn't look like, I don't see Kerman Avenue. And lots of information, but not clearly displayed for, like, this is a very long appendix. I'm not sure what all these things mean as an average citizen. So just going through it, and then I came to these maps. I was like, okay, maybe these are the main zoning maps. I don't know a lot about zoning bylaws. I'm just some average citizen in this scenario. So I was going through, and I just more maps and maps and maps. There's a few street names. Do I see Kerman Avenue? No, I don't see it. Okay, now there's a whole bunch of different types of zoning schedules. More and more. I don't see the street names. You know, so very, very consuming and a waste of time, right? Because what I could do is, if I was using our application, I would just go to the application and type in here, can I put a fence in my front yard on Kerman Avenue? That's really all you would need to do. So that's a lot easier than searching through this document. So, but they do have other tools, right? So like what I was saying with Okotoks, here's a map of Grimsby, my hometown, and then I know this place very well, so I know Kerman Avenue is right here. So this is another similar map to what we were looking at for Okotoks, how we could integrate with this type of mapping system. So if you're familiar with GIS maps, you know that the layer list is over here on the side. So it just took me a couple minutes to find this. So planning and zoning information, and then zoning current. And then RD3 is where the street I grew up on, that is the zone type. So if I click on these, see, I can't see, I'm not sure about individual properties, but let's try zooming to it. Okay, so we can look at an individual property. This is a little tricky. It kind of hides the layers. But this is another scenario where you could put I know I saw some. Okay, here we go. So now we're 42 Kerman Avenue. And then we're getting more information. Residential detached 3 is a zone. So this is where you could put a hyperlink, RD3, residential detached 3, back to the zoning application like I was saying before with Oak Tokes. So now I know it's RD3, so I can go back to the zoning bylaw here. Let's go back to the table of contents. And, where's RD3? And still... These are definitions. See how like it can become quickly challenging with these large documents. Maybe if I just do a find, RD3. Okay, permitted uses. But see how I'm just trying to get to the RD3 section, essentially. Whereas if I was using the application, I could just go to the sidebar here. I would see the whole table of contents for the entire document. So let's go back to like the farming animals or livestock, for example, and boom, livestock. Now, obviously, this isn't the entire zoning bylaw. This is just a small section, but it really is a lot easier to navigate with this sidebar, similar to what Kamloops had with theirs, with their interactive PDF, which is just fantastic. So, like, if I wanted to find a zoning type here, see R3, boom, I found it, So that's the type of thing that will be in our application. This is the same as interactive PDFs, which a lot of municipalities don't have. So if I'm still searching, there's a lot of RD3s. I'm like, or zoning bylaw, RD3 residential. What is this table telling me? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I am in RD3. I really don't know. It's a giant document. Maybe if I go to the top, it can tell me what page RD3 is in. So, table of contents, layperson, general provisions. So as you can see, somebody who works in municipal planning, who helps write zoning bylaws and reviews them, edits them, prepares information for planners, having a difficult time just finding a zone in a bylaw. So that sort of demonstrates the need for our application. There's other benefits as well. We can get faster answers for questions. We can reduce phone calls from the general public, so they can find the answers themselves. Like, for example, maybe I would just be calling the town of Grimsby and ask them about the fence, because I can't even find RD3 in the zoning bylaw. So that's a tricky one. And then like the links I was saying directly from the land use maps. It's also a convenient way to track amendments, because that can be complicated and confusing with different document versions and having a whole bunch of different documents. It just makes things more accessible for councils and the public. We can update as we go. We have sort of like a built-in yearly maintenance. So anytime you have an update, we can just add that. We can add that to your zoning bylaws, and that's not a problem. It's very simple and easy to do. And then you don't need to be downloading files, sharing files, making sure you have the right file version. It's just always, you just go to the web link, it's there. Oh yeah, another really important thing that I wanted to say was that investment. So a lot of times there's developers looking for communities to invest in. And when you have more sophisticated, more easy to use tools that give you clarity on what's possible, it really does allow opportunities for investment. And we can also work with you if you have specific things that you are looking for. We could even add a section to this that's like investment opportunity, and then it could be like highlighted on a map here. So just ways to make growth in your community in a positive way with developers. So a lot of really great opportunities for this product. We're really excited for it. And please do reach out or share this with any planning managers, CAOs, community leaders, council members, because we really are here for the long term. We want to build long-term relationships and really help out communities by helping them be more technology forward, be able to have more accessibility for their citizens, and engineers and developers, basically everybody who might need to use the zoning bylaws. So really excited for this. Thanks so much for taking time to watch the demonstration. And if you want a demonstration personally or want us to come visit you, you can also contact us at admin@bluerockplanning.ca. We'd be happy to help you out further. My name's Steve. Thanks so much for your time, and have an amazing rest of your day.